So near-death experiences, or rather, how do I phrase it? Being given a second chance at life. Very recently, we had King Kaka, who was sharing his same experience, where he had a health scare, and we saw the pictures of him on social media. And let me tell you, to be honest, it was scary. To see your partner just whisked away to the states, at which King Kaka was, that is very, very scary. Anyway, he got onto a radio station or a radio interview with Kidum, and they were just recounting these stories. And this time, Kidum chipped into the conversation and told his side of the story. Apparently, he had a car accident in the year 2006. And he just sums it all down to him being a reckless driver. And since then, he's been very particular about speeding and just being reckless on the road. Anyway, he was telling the story about how they had come from a performance. It was him and other artists, and he was driving. And for whatever reason, he was speeding 100 kilometers per hour,
Wow.
a very short distance, for no reason whatsoever. No one is rushing you. You're not late. Nothing's happening. You're just racing for the, screw, for the thrill of it. We've seen Subaru boys. If you live in a neighborhood like mine, kila usiku, boom, pa, 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 pa. You're like, please, Jehovah, locate me. Locate me and move me to Runda. Now, I may not experience this anymore. So, the same experience, when you're young, when you're in your youth, you want to do these things. You want to live on the edge. You want to chase the thrill and everything. So, in one of these endeavors, they're from a gig, they're coming home, he is racing, they're doing the most, it's a good time. Unfortunately, he had an accident and his car rolled over a few times. And he was unconscious, and when he woke up, he says, I woke up to medical facility. I felt cold. I was somewhere cold. I woke up and asked for my T-shirt. Good health is something to celebrate. When one approaches the last hour, it's when they realize that they're given airtime and they never use it. And then he goes on to, allude to the fact that the cold place he was in was actually a mortuary.
What?
Like they had presumed he was dead. That's just how bad it was. At some point, they had presumed he was dead, and he goes on to say, although his family does not talk about it, he is sure that he died for a hot minute and came back.
What?
So he was given a second chance, and that is why he uses the opportunity that he has right now to the fullest. Like, have you gone to an event or have you gone out to some club and not seen a Kidum performance scheduled, part of the week? Like, he's always releasing new music, always performing, basically using what he has to the maximum. So you at home, what talent have you been sitting on? What skill have you been sitting on? What thing can you do with your hands, but you don't want to do it for some excuse? For me, I know how I give myself excuses. I'm like, you know what? I need this. I need things to be perfect in my life so that I can pursue this. I need things to be aligned so that I can pursue this. But just start. Start with whatever you have in hand. Start that podcast. Start that YouTube channel. Even if it's cringe, even if people look at you like, she's so cringe, as if everyone is a podcaster now. Start. Just do it, Start your business. Start your baking business. Start cooking for your friends. Just do whatever you have with the small time we have here on this space rock. Okay?
I feel like the problem with cars in general is that when you're in them and you start to press the gas, there's something about it that tells you, go, go, go. And unfortunately, when you're drunk or you are inebriated, for lack of better words, you tend to feel that energy and you don't know how to stop yourself. You've seen how people drunk drive. Like people who are drunk and driving, you can almost always tell. There's an erraticism to it. There is a risk-taking kind of feel to how they're driving. You can almost always tell, like, that was unnecessary. You could have just waited for that person to cross the road. But nope, you swooped and you almost kind of killed someone. Like, there's something about driving drunk that makes you feel too free, and every care in the world feels like it's nothing. And for that reason, a lot of horrible things can happen to you. So one, do not drink and drive. Do not drink and let someone else who's drunk drive. Like anything to do with drinking and driving and heavy machinery especially.
True.
Let's just completely agree that you shouldn't be doing that to begin with, okay? Take a taxi. They're so cheap. They're so affordable. In fact, Turi has been over here jumping from app to app because there is a discount,
Kuna
another
offer huku, kuna discount
a
huku.
discount here, another discount here. Let's agree with that. However, imagine that near-death experience. I hear a lot of people telling us things like how they saw the light, they walked towards the light and all of that. I would have loved if Kidum had a near-death experience. Okay, wow. I will completely change that statement and say, have you ever heard of someone who's had a near-death experience? And the way the story is usually so, you know, it's very interesting, it's very chaotic. It's like 2 seconds of you dying, but you're excited to tell everyone about how you met God and how, you know, God told you that you are commissioned to do something. Like these near NDEs are always very, very interesting stories. That's all I can say. I'm not hoping that anyone dies and has an NDE and then they come back and tell us the story. Absolutely not. However, they are very interesting stories. Back to the story. Kidum. We're happy that you're still alive. We're happy that we can still see you and hear you and listen to your music. We're happy that even now you're entertaining. Like, it's been a while since I've heard a new song by Kidum. However, his old music is, wow, why am I coming at Kidum so heavy?
Exactly.
However, his music has such a shelf life that regardless of when it was released, it still is very, very viable in any situation, in any context. Like, you could do it at a wedding, you could be at the club and still busting down to Kidum. Like, he's done really, really good work. We are happy that his family is okay as well. We're happy that he's okay. And we're happy that he's at least taken that notion which we're always being told, arrive alive. Just drive slow, utafika tu bado.
Exactly.
Utafika.